Kia ora team, and welcome to Big Boys Boxing, where we're all about exactly that. The big boys. With big knockouts. And the big fights. So let's get into this.
What's going on? Big Boys Boxing back in the house. Hope y'all are doing well. And we got some heavyweight action for the weekend. As many of you will already know, Dillian Whyte had an adverse finding in his VADA drug tests. Still not really any news about what exactly went on there, what substance it is, whatever, but the slightest sniff of a adverse finding or failed test, and Eddie Hearn dropped Dillian Whyte out of the show instantly after that debacle with Conor Benn. Not going to leave himself open to be crucified by the media by trying to hide the adverse finding and let the fight go ahead. So, less than a week's notice, and Eddie Hearn has found an opponent for Anthony Joshua, so the show can go ahead. The opponent is going to be Robert Helenius, the Nordic Nightmare, who incidentally had a fight last weekend. It was a local fight in Finland though, against a guy who hasn't fought outside of Finland. He stopped him in 3 rounds. Helenius didn't really take any shots. Maybe there was 1 or 2 in there. He caught but didn't damage him. Obviously, he's good to go for this fight this weekend. So we have a card and it's got 4 heavyweights on it. So we have Horizon of Zion in the house. Good to see ya. I know who you are. I won't say your name. 22 Rice Crew. Yeah. Sharing everywhere. Awesome. Appreciate that. I'll just call you Zion, bro. How's that? So yeah. Letting a few roll in. I shall post a link for anybody who might want to jump on and have a yarn. Boosh, there's the link to join if you want to come and have a yarn. I'll pin that to the top. This damn heart thing in the way in the chat. I can't get to the 3 dots on it. How can I pin that to the top now? This damn new heart thing's in the way in the chat. Just give me a sec, team. I'll let a few of you roll in while I just get final setup sorted here. Maybe YouTube comment. Yeah. Fuck. Go to my channel. Go to the live. Might be an echo for a sec, team. Or I hit mute. Just give me a sec. To the live. Might be an echo for a sec, team. Muted. And look at that in the comment from here. That's a fuck up for YouTube, eh? Anyways, link to join is pinned to the top of the chat, team. If anybody wants to jump on, there is a link there. And I better go jump into the Discord channel myself. Boosh, I am in there. Testing. Yep, green rings, we're all good. Anybody who might want to jump on and have a yarn about this card, there's 4 fights to talk about here. So, we'll start at the bottom and work our way to the top. And I'll give my opinions on some of these fights and quick predictions. So we'll start with Johnny Fisher and Harry Armstrong. I believe that's for the Southern Area title. Yeah, British Board of Boxing control Southern Area heavyweight title, which is vacant. So we've all seen Johnny Fisher. He's been on plenty of undercards, worked his way up to 9-0. Who was his last fight? Oh, last fight was Emilio Salas. That's and he managed to stop him in the first round. Fight before that was a 4th round stoppage against Alfredo Damiani, I think is how you say it. Dominic Musil before that, and that was the first round. So this is kind of a step up for Johnny Fisher. As for Harry Armstrong, he's 5-1 with 1 draw. He's 30 years old, orthodox, 6'6", so he's quite a bit bigger than the guys Johnny Fisher is used to facing. Johnny Fisher is 6'4", 24 years old, the Romford Bull. He's a ticket seller, big time. So he's got a bit of a cult following. I'm not sure how much of an interesting fight it will be. Harry Armstrong has no KO wins, no KO losses. So he's durable, he's big, but in saying he's durable, he hasn't faced a lot of decent competition. Jamie Shakiva is the guy he fought last, who was 3-0. He's up a prospect, and that was his one loss. He lost that over the 8-round decision. So I'll be inclined to say Johnny Fisher should win this one, but it may end up going the distance. However, it's a 10-rounder. I don't think... I'm pretty sure Johnny Fisher hasn't been in a 10-rounder before. No scheduled 10-rounders. He's had 2 scheduled 8-rounders. Plus 2. So, this being a Southern Area title fight, it has to be at least 10 rounds. Fisher might stop him late, but I don't know what Fisher's like in the late rounds, if he's got a gas tank that late. I mean, shit, we haven't seen him go past the 4th round, have we? I think first round, second round, 4th round. Oh no, he has gone the distance once. He went 6 rounds with Gabriel Nguerima, who was 10-11-0. So shit, I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna say Johnny Fisher by a points decision on that one, just based on the fact that Harry Armstrong seems to be pretty durable. Alright, so move on to the next one, which is Dereck Chisora. Gonna be taking on Gerald, say this, Guel Negro, Black Chicken or Black Rooster. Gerald Guel Negro Washington. Now this one in particular, I think Dereck Chisora should win. We've seen Gerald Washington cave under pressure before. He lost to Adam Kovnarski, got stopped by him. And that's just a whole lot of pressure. We know there's no skill behind Adam Kovnarski's style. It's come forward, eat punches, throw more than your opponent, wear them down and stop them. That's what Kovnarski did to Gerald Washington. However, the man who smashed over Adam Kovnarski twice in Robert Helenius, who's fighting in the main event, got knocked out by Gerald Washington. So there's a triangle theory all fucked up for you. But to be fair, Robert Helenius was beating Gerald Washington quite easily, but he got a bit tired, and when he gets a bit tired, he tends to pull back to get out of range of fighters, with his chin high up in the air and his hands down. Now, he could get away with this fighting small opponents because their reach isn't that good, and he's used to fighting smaller opponents most of the time. But Gerald Washington was only an inch shorter than him and had the similar reach. So he got a bit tired, he pulled back and got caught with the right hand and went down in the corner. Didn't get up. The ref didn't even really count much. I thought the ref could have counted in that one in particular, but you could tell Helenius was totally gassed. So we'll see what happens with Gerald Washington and Dereck Chisora. Dereck Chisora is no spring chicken himself. Check on something. He's 39 is Dereck Chisora. And yeah, we know Dereck Chisora. He's got 13 losses. But most of those losses are to very high level competition. However, one of them was a loss to Robert Helenius. It wasn't a knockout. Many people think Chisora got robbed in that fight. I don't know. I watched the fight and I thought it was pretty close. So, I wouldn't have argued with a draw, to be honest. But it is what it is. I think Chisora's pressure will get to Gerald Washington. Gerald Washington is getting pretty long in the tooth now. He is... Gonna show his age. Going the fuck on here. Height 6'6", 82-inch reach. Orthodox, USA. Here we go. I'll try and pronounce this alias name. El Galo Negro. El Gualo Negro, I think is how you're supposed to say. EL space GALLO space Negro. It means black rooster, I know that much. And I know he's chosen that nickname because I think his father is Mexican and his mother is African American. So it is what it is. Where's his goddamn age? Belts 26 rounds, 125, 50% knockout ratio. Career started in 2012. Yes, it doesn't have his age here. I'm sure he's 40. Must be because he's been in. His status is inactive. Once they haven't fought in 12 months, BoxRec has him as an inactive. Right, so he's 20 with 20 wins, 13 knockouts, 5 losses, and been stopped 5 times. He's got 1 draw. Now that 1 draw, I did a interview with Amir Hardcore Mansour many years ago. Must have been 2015 or 2016, and it was quite an interesting interview. But one of the questions I did ask Amir Mansour was who was the hardest hitting heavyweight he'd been in the ring with, and his answer was Gerald Washington. He says that boy is strong. He doesn't even know his own strength. It's a problem for him. It's a psychological thing, Amir Mansour reckoned. So in that fight, Gerald Washington won the first 4 rounds, clearly. But after that, Washington kind of gassed out. And I thought he lost the last 6 rounds, but they turned around and gave it a draw. So, yeah, it was what it was. This was long before Gerald Washington had faced any decent type of competition. I mean, for Amir Mansour, he faced Gerald Washington 1 fight before he faced Dominic Breazeale. And Mansour retired after 5 rounds in that fight. And that question I asked about the hardest hitting heavyweights was obviously before Mansour had fought Sergey Kuzmin, before he fought Dominic Breazeale, before he fought Filip Hrgovic, before he fought Efe Ajagba. That was Amir Mansour's last fight. So just a little bit of useless information there. Gerald Washington can punch, he can box. We saw him against Deontay Wilder. He was boxing quite well until he got caught in the 5th round, right? And that's when you see the heart disappear from Gerald Washington. But I think Dereck Chisora, he will take the heart away from Gerald Washington earlier in the fight. I think we're going to see Washington start capitulating about round 4. And once he gets a big shot to the chin that dazes him, you see him, you watch his face and he doesn't cover up very well after that. He just does not deal with adversity very well. But he has a good jab. He's 6'6". He can move fairly well. If he can manage to keep his stamina okay and stay out of trouble past about 6 rounds, he's got a chance of beating Chisora on points. Possibly even stoppage, because he does hit hard. We saw when Washington hurt Helenius, before he landed the finishing blow, all of a sudden he had a whole lot of energy because he knew Helenius was hurt. Went to town, landed that right hand, got the job done. Now, we haven't seen Washington in the ring for quite some time. His last fight was on the 1st of January in 2022. Oh, that must have been that card with the jug bar. Yeah, he fought Ali Arandamirazan. That's right. And Ali Arandamirazan beat him by stoppage in 8 of 10 rounds. Now, this is unusual because Demirazan doesn't hit that hard. He's a high volume puncher. He's got reasonable defense, but he'll just keep going all night. Even though he's a fat Teletubby, he'll just punch all night. He's a bit like Adam Kovnarski, but a lot more skilled. He's got an amateur pedigree and whatnot, his Demirazan. So, you know, if Ali Demirazan can stop Gerald Washington with pressure fighting without power, I think Chisora is going to stop him. Yeah, like I say, 4 to 5 rounds, I think it'll be over. So, we'll see how it goes. But personally, I would have rather have seen Gerald Washington moved up to the main event, because he beat the guy who has replaced Joshua, didn't he? And put Robert Helenius in there for a rematch with Dereck Chisora, because Dereck Chisora wants to get his own back for that points lost years and years ago. But I don't know, I guess Helenius, it's easier just to throw Helenius in there with Joshua. So we'll get on to the next one. Let me just quickly shoot over the chat. No comments in here, okay. Double check everything's still running here. Shoot over the chat. No comments. Yep, we're all good. Right, so the next one is Filip Hrgovic, the IBF mandatory, who is unbeaten. And here he is. He's 15-0 with 12 KOs. He is from Croatia. He is, his alias is El Animal, which is interesting. It's like Spanish, but he's Croatian, so it's odd. He's 31 years old, Orthodox, 6'6". No registered reach. That's interesting. Around plenty long enough. Is that another one because classed as 80% KO ratio, 61 rounds, ranked 14th world on BoxRec. He's just, his last fight was Zhili Zhang. He beat Zhili Zhang in a very tight fight. It was a very entertaining fight, that one in particular. I liked it. I wouldn't have minded seeing that again, but it was for the final eliminator for the IBF. So Filip Hrgovic took that position and ran. He didn't need to take this fight against Dempsey Mckean. But in all realism, it might be a little while before he gets a shot anyway. Actually, no, it won't be. He's next in line after Daniel Dubois for Alexander Usyk. Anyway, so yeah, Dempsey Mckean, the unbeaten Australian. It's not because he's Australian, but I don't like this guy. He's a gangly, clumsy freaking mess. Got no power. He's dirty, scrappy. Grabs hold of people. I mean, he was hanging on for dear life against Kiki Torliatelli. This dude was getting battered around in the last half of the fight. Where is it? There it is, Kiki Torliatelli. They unanimous decisioned it. It was in Australia. Can't remember what card it was on, but it was a good fight. Kiki Torliatelli is durable. He hits hard. He's not the best boxer, but he's got a hell of a lot of heart. He's an Isaac Peach fighter, just like Jerome Pampalone and David Lights. Those guys are all in the same gym. But yeah, Dempsey Mckean, he also beat Jonathan Rice. But it was what I call the old Jonathan Rice, right? Or he beat Johnny Rice. The hell is it? There it is. Yeah, Jonathan Rice, he beat... That was back in 2020. So this was before Jonathan Rice beat Michael Polite Coffee, and once he beat Michael Polite Coffee, he's turned into a different fighter. He's got a lot more confidence in himself. I think if they fought again now, Rice would win, possibly by knockout too. But anyways, Dempsey Mckean, he's taking on Filip Hrgovic. I better go through his stats. Like I said, he's Australian. He's 32 years old. Southpaw, 6'6". Yeah, he moves okay. His speed is okay. His defense is shit. Absolute shit. Gangly, clumsy fucking arms waving around all over the place. And if he gets hit, he just grabs hold. I hate it. So I'm thinking El Animal is going to stop this dude within 4 rounds. He's going to get to him. He's going to beat the snot out of him with those big wide cuffing shots and just go for it and knock this big gangly mess out. And be honest, I'll be glad to see the back of him. He's not an entertaining fighter to watch. Makes it hard to appreciate in boxing skill when you're watching a dude like this. Anyways, James Jameson is in the house. Hello, man. It's been a minute. Good to see you. Triple D gonna get battered. Yeah, I agree with that one. Couple of weeks, I think, in 26th. LOL. Need to see his Aussie fight. Kikito Latali and Dempsey Mckean. It might be available on YouTube. I don't remember if it was a DAZN fight or not. I don't think it was. It's before DAZN was in Australia, so you might be able to get a copy of it on just on YouTube. But yeah, I think it was the last round. He dropped him, I think, in the last round, and then for the rest of the round he was just hanging on. Don't hurt me, don't hurt me. But yeah, I want to see that big gangly mess knocked the fuck out, and I think Filip Hrgovic should do it, as long as Hrgovic hasn't taken a shot to his confidence after a pretty close call against Zhili Zhang. But I don't think that'll be a problem. He'll look at Dempsey Mckean. He'll do a download for about 30 seconds in the first round, and once he tastes that Dempsey Mckean's got no power, he'll be all over him like a fly on shit, and it'll be all over, man. Within 4 rounds, I'd say. So that's my thoughts for that one. Now to the main event. The main event being Anthony Joshua taking on his last minute replacement in Robert the Nordic Nightmare Helenius. Most people, Robert Helenius got knocked out by Deontay Wilder in the first round. This is going to be easy work for Joshua. Pardon me. It's quite possible. I mean, Robert Helenius doesn't have the greatest chin, but if you're looking at that Deontay Wilder fight, his last, well, not his last fight because he had a fight last weekend, but yeah, he got stopped in the first round. He was being extremely aggressive. You don't usually see that from Helenius. He has been a sparring partner for Deontay Wilder for many years, so he knows what to expect from Deontay, and I think he knew very well that if the fight went long, he's fucked. He hasn't got the gas tank to be able to compete with Deontay Wilder, who usually has a pretty good gas tank when he's not being pressurized all the time. Oh, there's the key word. So, Robert thought he could pressure Deontay Wilder and possibly get him out of there early or get him to gas. Now, Robert Helenius, don't get me wrong, I've never said he's no world beater or something, but the dude hits like a train. I'll put him in the top 4 or 5 heavyweight of current heavyweights when it comes to power. His right hand and his jab and his left hook, he's got some really good power behind those punches. If he connects on Joshua's chin, he could knock him the fuck out, I reckon. But the thing is, Robert Helenius doesn't have great boxing ability. He doesn't have great speed. His defense is pretty bad. He uses distance and a very loose guard. And like I was saying earlier on, it's because mainly he fights guys that are considerably smaller than him. So he's been able to use range and his reach to avoid shots and not have to worry too much about shorter guys being able to reach him. But we saw against Gerald Washington, pulling back, trying to maintain the range just with movement, pulling back, hands down, chin in the air, he got clipped. So I think it could be a little more interesting than people were expecting. It could also go the other way. You know, I think Joshua could get him out of there within the first half of the fight. I'm assuming it's a 12 rounder. Yes, it is. But if Helenius can land some of those solid jabs and some of those couple of those straight right hands in the first round or two, you might see Joshua go back to trying to, how do I put this nicely, box smarter with no aggression, worried about getting knocked the fuck out. If Helenius lands something on Joshua early to get respect, shit, we could go the distance. Or Helenius could get more confidence and land something big. It's a long shot, but if you're gonna bet on this, I'd bet myself. I'd bet Joshua to win by KO rounds 1 to 6. That'd be your main bet, but Helenius will be paying huge odds for a knockout. So, if just for example, if you put $10 on Anthony Joshua to win by knockout in rounds 1 to 6, it's probably going to be paying about $1.60 or $1.80, something like that. You'd only have to put, if you put $1 on Helenius to knock out Anthony Joshua, it's probably paying more than $10. So I can't see this fight going the distance either way, right? I can't see Joshua letting Helenius last more than 6 rounds. He's going to try to get him out of there within 6 rounds because he's a last minute opponent, and there'll be comparisons to Deontay Wilder's first round knockout. So he's going to try and get Helenius out of there early. But if it backfires, we've seen what happens when Joshua gets hit flush. And I'll tell you what, Robert Helenius hits a shitload harder than Andy Ruiz Jr. And look what Andy Ruiz Jr.'s punches did to Joshua, right? It's only going to take one of those big bombs from Helenius, and it could be totally lights out for Joshua. Right, so I think hedging this one with Helenius by knockout with huge odds, a small amount, covers your ass, right? That's what I'm likely going to be doing. But in saying all of this, you remember when Robert Helenius did get stopped by Deontay Wilder? They were friends, and they show it was clips of Deontay going to visit Robert in his hotel room after the fact, and they're crying to each other about knocking out their friends, and Robert was saying, look, I've been in this business for 25 years, it's time to hang him up, and he retired. But what's this? He had a fight last week. I don't know what kind of condition he's going to be in, whether he was full on training for the domestic fight he had last weekend or not. So we're going to find out on the weekend anyway, and just throwing it out there, like I say, I think it's going to be a little bit more interesting than most people think. But it might not be at the same time. It could be all over in the first 3 rounds, maybe. So we'll just see what happens. What do we got here? Definitely went down easy. Not the first Wilder opponent to dive. I don't think he dived, mate. I think he just knew that he had to go balls to the wall to try and do something, because if it went long, he wouldn't have a chance. But everyone's entitled to their opinion, you know. Everyone's got one, just like an arsehole. You know. What else we got here? Chat keeps moving. Helenius might be tougher than expected, but AJ should knock him out within 9. Yeah, man, if he doesn't stop this guy, he's gonna be crucified by the boxing fans. Hey, everybody knows it. There's always the comparisons. So we'll just see what happens. Brazil got caught square. Chin belts. Very amateur. But yeah, Brazil's he's a walking punch bag, man. He's been a walking punch bag ever since I've known him. He only uses his durability. He actually punches pretty hard, but he's slower than a wet week. Got no defense, and like he did with Izu Ugonna, he was getting pieced up and smashed to pieces. But you just got to keep pressuring, keep taking those shots, wait for his opponent to get worn down, and then his punches are fast enough and heavy enough to take him out of there, like he did with Izu Ugonna. Steven in the house as well. Good to see you, bro. Yeah. Emerson gave you a shout out already. I saw someone else up here. Here we go. I always have problems with this name. Ogunga. Good to see you in, man. That almost did look like a dive. Yeah, I do agree, but you know, we've seen Robert Helenius, once he gets hit with something decent, it really discombobulates him. Look at that knockout of him, his first loss to Johan Dorper. He was winning the fight easily, got caught with a sneaky shot. I think it was an overhand right, and he was stumbling all over the place like he was drunk, trying to stand up, climbing up the ropes on one side of the ring. He was really discombobulated. So if you can land on Helenius's temple and get him messed up, he's in real shit. And saying that, so is Joshua. Look what happened to him when he got caught with the first big punch in the third round from Ruiz. He was all over the bloody show too, stumbling all over the place, and then went down. So two chinny guys, really. I think just Anthony Joshua is a much better boxer. Got a much cleaner technique. But honestly, I think Robert Helenius hits harder than Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua is more of an accumulative stoppage puncher these days. He doesn't step into his work like he does before Vladimir Klitschko when he first got knocked down. So we'll see what happens. I think it's going to be a little more interesting than everybody thinks, but I'm definitely picking Joshua by stoppage, but I will certainly be hedging with a small bet of Robert Helenius by stoppage as well. And I think if Joshua's going to stop him, I think it'll be within the 6. Yeah. It is what it is. What have we got here for Stephen? James Fury really pissed me off not fighting Usyk. Yeah, man. Pissed the whole fucking world off. And he's paying the price for it too. Nobody listens to a damn thing he says anymore. If anybody did believe what he was saying before that Usyk debacle, because most people with half a brain already knew that most of the stuff that comes out of Tyson's mouth is utter diarrhea. Yeah, for anybody who did still believe him, doesn't anymore. So Yeah, I see Mike Tyson releasing an article, I think it was on Boxing Scene yesterday, saying that I think the fight between Fury and Ngannou was going to be a lot closer than people expect. Well, Mike Tyson is his coach, so he's got to say that, doesn't he? But regardless, I won't be watching that shit. No way will I be watching that shit. The Duck King can go and take the Saudi monies. The Saudis, I reckon the Saudis will lose money. Mind you, there might be a lot of the MMA fans that might watch it and they'll pay for it. But fuck, I won't pay for it. Shit, I won't even fucking watch it. It's total disrespect to boxing. If it was this case of Tyson had cleaned out the division, not Mike Tyson, the Duck King I'm talking about here. If he had cleaned out the division, if he had fought Wilder, Joshua, and maybe a Hrgovic or a Sanchez, a couple of those guys, those kind of guys, the up and comers. If he had fought everybody and cleaned out the division, then went on to go and do this exhibition, I wouldn't have a problem with it. Wouldn't be a problem. But he's held up the division. He's killed Undisputed. We're probably not going to see it because the belts are going to get split up. You wait and see. It's going to be a lottery for those belts again at some point. Because I don't see Tyson Fury getting in the ring with him. It's like he's scared of a little blown up middleweight, as he calls him. What a fucking idiot, man. He's just a dickhead. It is a disgrace to be let down the sport, yeah, for sure, Stephen. I think White got caught mid-cycle. I'll get to a comment I saw the other day about that. He's a cheat. It's disgusting. I'd ban for life. Well, I heard some shit. Was it a boxer or an ex-boxer? The other day I saw when the news first broke. See, Dillian White's just not very good at doping. Everyone else is good at it. And to a degree, you know, there's a shitload of it in the sport, but yeah. Jono Fight TV was excellent. Was the Crawford Spence fight on pay-per-view? Stream was perfect. 1080 HP HD. I downloaded the app on my smart TV. Yeah, that's the one. So that's a good avenue, Stephen. Down here in New Zealand, it seems the big American pay-per-view fights, we don't get them anymore. I mean, so we've had to try and find another legit way to be able to watch them down here, and Stephen found it. Fight TV broadcasted the pay-per-view down here. I believe it only cost $19.95 New Zealand dollars, which is cheap as chips compared to $85 in American dollars. It's like $100 New Zealand to watch it. So yeah, everybody, if you're looking for a way to watch pay-per-views, make sure you check out Fight TV if you're here in New Zealand, because a lot of them do go through there. Yeah. Fury ducked Usyk, Undisputed, to fight a guy who never had an amateur or pro fight yet. I did watch a interview with Ngannou the other day. He only got into MMA because he was getting into boxing and found a different discipline as he was getting ready. So he does know how to box a little because he started with boxing, but moved to MMA. He just never did. He might. I don't know if he actually had any official amateur fights or not. I wonder if Boxer. Let's have a quick look. Francis Ngannou, Boxric. What Boxric, you punk? Not interested in C stats. Media shit, they don't even have him on. Boxric. I wonder. Why? Francis Ngannou. No, man. Doesn't even come up. How I usually find them to get to the right pages. Oh, here we go. Francis Ngannou. Julius Francis. I usually type in the name in Google and then Boxric afterwards, and it usually takes me to the right page. And can I go to Boxric engine? The only downfall is that is if you get the spelling slightly wrong. Can't find. I mean, he's not even listed on box. That tells me is he hasn't even got a fucking boxing license. So there's no way it could be any kind of official fight if he's got no license. So it's just an exhibition. You don't need a license for an exhibition. Oh, this is just what I'm assuming, by the way. But yeah. Like finding hen's teeth. I hope Crawford fights dempsey next. It will be a good. He'll fight, but he'll fight Spence next. No, nobody wants to see it, but Spence has the right to activate his rematch clause, right? And where's he going to make the most money? In Spence. There's no other big money fights out there for Spence. So, he's basically got to take the Terence Crawford rematch. And it sounds like Crawford's pretty happy to move up to 154. Not hang around down there to try and fight Boots Innes. But we'll see what happens. I would like to see Crawford fight Tim Sue as well. Shit, I'd like to see Crawford fight Jamal Charlo for undisputed at 154. But we're not gonna see Charlo come back down to 154 after going up to 168. Hell no. Julius Francis, the guy who adverts on the soles of his boots. Or Mike Tyson. That guy, shit, I don't know. I didn't even look into it. It just came up on Google. Oh, and Tyson Fury put in a what? Oh no, it moved. My bad. halfway through reading that one, and then it came to Stephen's comment. Green. How did you do that, James? Not like writing over writing. Up with my PC or something. That's weird. Writing over writing. Oh, now I move it and it changes. Okay. Crawford will fight Spence, yeah. It's the biggest money for both of them. So, even if Errol's going to get the snot beaten out of him again, it's worth it. For a couple $1 million, isn't it? Yeah, Sue, I feel confident about that. Yeah, I agree. It is prize fighting, and the guys are going to take the best money fights over the best legacy fights, aren't they? Just look at Jamal Charlo. He never wanted to fight Tim Sue. All that time he's been mandatory and taking other fights. It's been PBC's plan for somebody to beat Tim Sue so Jamal Charlo didn't have to face him. So he put it off, then claimed injury. I'm injured, I can't fight Tim Sue. And then the opportunity for Canelo comes up, and all of a sudden he's saying, I've been training for months. I'm ready. It's amazing what a fucking big paycheck can do. Cures injuries, cures mental illness. I'm fucking there, man. Give me those millions. Rematch clause in Fury and Garner is the... what is it? Moved again. Is the fix-in a draw and Garner? Oh, wow. I don't know, man. The only people I can think that really want to buy are the sicker Tyson Fury fans and maybe some MMA fans. I don't know one damn boxing fan that's looking forward to that fight. So if the MMA fans don't fill out the pay-per-view for the Saudis to make their money back, if there's a rematch and they have a draw, guess what? The Saudis are probably going to go, you're going to have to find someone else to do this because we ain't paying that shit again because we're losing money. I hope the pay-per-view fucking flops. Yeah, come on, let's go and do a rematch, and nobody will fucking watch it. Nobody will pay for it. You can fucking fight for $20 in the car park, you big dosser. Crawford only got 2 to 3 fights left, so he will be looking for the belts and the paydays. Oh, of course, yeah. It'll be Spence first, and then he'll do his best to try and clean up the fractured belts at 154. And if he can manage to do that, I think he'll either retire or get offered a Canelo fight at 168 or some shit like that. But there's no doubt about it. For me, Terence Crawford is the pound for pound number 1 at the moment. And then my number 2 is Naoya Inoue. Then my number 3 is Alexander Usyk. Oh, who would I put it for? Oh, Canelo at 4. Okay. I don't know who I'd put at 5. I'd have to have a good think about those. But that'll be my top 4. Would be Crawford, Inoue, Usyk, Canelo, and let us know your fellas' top 4. What do you reckon? Am I close? I know it's very subjective, and I'm not the most knowledgeable once you get below about 168. Yeah. PCR in the house. What's going on? Good to see you, bro. Hope you're doing well. I'll get those picks up for the league today. I haven't even looked at the rest of the weekend. I've been waiting for this Joshua opponent news to come out. So we'll definitely have the 4 heavyweight fights on the prediction league this week. It's week 8 coming up, so we've got like 4 weeks to try and catch that runaway Hannibal. He's got 40 points on all of us, jammy prick. So we'll see what we can do, eh, boys? I see you're slowly creeping up on us there, Phil. Stephen and I are pretty much locked up, 2 points apart in the middle. So we'll see how we go, but I'll get those picks up by this evening, man. Crawford, Inoue, Usyk, Canelo sounds decent as a pound for pound. Oh yeah. I think no matter who you are, I think those 4 have to be the top 4, not necessarily in that order, but I think those 4 definitely have to be the top 4. So, but that's just my thought. I got lucky with that Helenius TKO result. It's always luck when you hit an exact round, isn't it, mate? But yeah, I'm glad you got it rather than Hannibal, because that bastard's miles ahead of us. Excuse me, big crook. And Stephen and I were both a round off, I think. Hannibal might be a round off. It might have been a round off as well. Actually, I think he picked us. That's what it was, man. What about the fella that beat Joyce? If he wins rematch, he's had great. Yeah. Oh well, it's already the best year of Zhilei Zhang's career. Even that very close fight against Hrgovic, which most thought he actually won, that was what got eyes on Zhilei Zhang. You know, most people thought, oh, he's just a big Chinese dude who can punch, but he's got no gas tank and he'll shit himself against a big puncher. And then, oh, look what he did to Hrgovic. He dropped him. He made Hrgovic shit himself. So, and then he beats Joyce. Knocks him out. The juggernaut. The unbreakable, 5 times normal bone density got bashed up. So, this is boxing, man. Sometimes we get way different to what we expect, and it's good. It's good for the sport. It takes these greedy buggers off their pedestals and let these guys who have actually earned a shot to get the opportunities that they really should have got before they got them. The politics and the money surrounding the top of the heavyweight division just shuts a lot of guys out. They don't get opportunities. So I'm glad to see old man Zhang get that shot, get that win, get a couple of big paydays. Let's see what happens, because I think that rematch is going to be real interesting as well. What else we got here? Between each other. Zhang is the interim at the moment. Yeah, interim WBO. Might have written that, but a stupid heart thing on the side covers shit that pisses me off. He's also the mandatory, being interim is mandatory as well, and if the IBF gets vacated at all, then Zhang is the champ, unless Joyce beats him in the rematch. Is it September 29th or something like that? So, looking forward to that one. Gonna be a goodie. Jojo sparred in Ngannou. Said he ain't bad, but who knows for sure. Yeah, stories coming out of sparring is exactly that. Stories a lot of the time, and you don't know whether it's true or not. You know the old saying, what happens in sparring stays in sparring. So a lot of guys even have to sign non-disclosure agreements to even get in the gym with some of these top guys. So gotta be careful what they say or they get sued. Dang is the interim at the moment. Interim WBO heavyweight champion. Alright, so a quick recap. So I've got Johnny Fisher on points, I think, but it could end up in a stoppage. Just not sure of what the gas tank is like for either guy getting up to 10 rounds. We've only seen Johnny Fisher go 6 at most. One fight that did go the distance. Strong's even gone the distance full stop. I haven't really seen much of him. I think I've only seen him fight once. So yeah, I'm going Fisher on points. I'm going Dereck Chisora by stoppage. I'm not going to give you a round because that'll mess up my Production League picks, so I'll just leave it at Chisora by stoppage. Filip Hrgovic to decimate, absolutely destroy Dempsey, the gangly, clumsy mess Mckean. I think he'll knock him out within 4 rounds. And the main event, I'm gonna go Joshua within 6. But like I say, don't be surprised if Robert Helenius can land a big straight right or a big left hook on Joshua in the first couple of rounds. The whole dynamic of the fight might just change. We might see Anthony Joshua's mental fortitude tested again. Yeah, that's that card for the weekend. I think that's about all there is to mention about it for this. It looks like I'm probably going to do a live commentary stream for that card. It'll be Sunday morning here in New Zealand. There's 4 heavyweight fights on it, and I haven't done a commentary stream for a long time, so I think I'm going to get that into that and do that. I might even invite people to come and commentate around it too, if they wanted to have a turn at it, because there's 4 fights, so there's going to be plenty of time if someone wants to jump on, call a round or 2, or even just jump on and give comments between rounds. I think that's going to be an option this time around. So I hope you have all enjoyed this little yarn for today. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and the way you do that is not knock the fuck out. No, the way you do that is you go hit the thumbs up, you hit that subscribe button and that bell icon for future notifications, then you won't miss anything. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this weekend. I think there's going to be 2 stoppages at the very least. Dempsey Mckean is Filip Hrgovic is going to knock out Dempsey Mckean. He's going to stand over him and go, "You got knocked the fuck out." And then I think Joshua is going to stop Robert Helenius. But don't be surprised if Helenius catches Joshua in round 2 with a big straight right hand. Because Helenius hits like a bus. Don't forget. Don't just disregard him because he's been knocked out 3 times. He's got to punch himself. Don't forget that hedge. That's me for today. I'll catch you all next time. Take it easy. I'm out. So,
Alright team, that's all we have for you today. Hope you've enjoyed. Make sure you hit that thumbs up, hit subscribe, and that bell icon for future notifications so you don't miss nothing. Also, get over to the Big Boys Boxing Discord server. The invite link is in the description. There's lots of things you can find there, like fight links, boxing chat, prediction leagues, fight streams, and fight parties. So get into it. I'm Jono from Big Boys Boxing, and I'm out. So